Hi everyone, my name's Dan and I love gadgets, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Mi Band 3, the latest in the Mi Band range of fitness bands. Now, I've had this fitness band for around about 3 weeks now. I've pretty much been wearing it continuously, so I have a pretty good idea of how good it is, what it can do, what it can't do, and whether it's worth buying, really. I'm going to take you through the specs, I'm going to take you through the design, what it can do, the tracking capabilities, and basically whether it's worth upgrading from the previous Mi Band, if you happen to have that, or whether it's worth kind of purchasing as your first ever fitness tracker, because that's pretty much what it's designed to be. So let's get started, and I'm going to start with the specs. Just going to take you through some of the main specs, the most interesting parts, and then yeah, we'll go into some more details. So it has a 0.78 inch OLED display. It's got a resolution of 126 by 80. It's got a 110 mAh battery, which according to Xiaomi will last around about 20 days. For tracking, it's got a heart rate sensor, an accelerometer, and it also has NFC, which basically means you can use it to make purchases, to pay, wirelessly. However, I'm not sure if that's available outside China. Usually with these kind of Xiaomi products, the NFC is only available in China, but maybe that will change. So it can track your steps, your heart rate, your sleep. It can track your distance and how many calories you've burnt. So it's got quite a lot of tracking features for such a tiny cheap watch. Now it weighs about 20 grams, and obviously it's very small. And probably the final defining feature of this fitness band is the fact that it's waterproof to 50 meters, which does make it stand out a bit in terms of, well, especially compared to other similar fitness bands. Now, maybe those specs don't really mean anything to you if you've never shopped for a fitness band before, if you just don't care, but I'm going to go through what's important and why. So we're going to start with the design, because obviously design of the watch is very important. You can be wearing it all day. You want it to be comfortable, you want it to look good, you want it to be easy to use. So yeah, let's talk about the design of the watch and the software as well. Okay, so as you can see, the Mi Band 3 is a very small, tiny little fitness band. It fits basically in the palm of your hand very easily. It's got one manual control here. It's not even a manual control, it's just a kind of button which allows you to select things. However, the screen is fully responsive, fully touch screen, allows you to swipe through different menus and select different options. So yeah, unlike the previous fitness band, the Mi Fit I should say, this has a full touch screen and works just as well as any smartphone, very responsive. Now the Mi Band, like previous models, is basically made up of this main kind of device here. This is the actual Mi Band device, and then it just pops into this silicone band, which is replaceable. You can get metal ones, you can get leather ones, you can get different color ones. So this is just the basic version they give you, but it's fine for me. Now the shape of the body, it's kind of like oblong. It's got a curved screen, it curves upwards like that, and it curves around like that. So I think it looks very good, very sleek, and much more modern than the previous versions of this range. So I really like the design. I do think it looks much better, and I do think it looks like something that's designed and made for 2018. So like I say, it's very easy to use. You basically just swipe across here and you hold this down to select if you want to change something, if you want to select something, but mostly it's just swiping up and down depending on what menu you use. Now the screen has a resolution of 126 by 80, and that may not seem like much, but for such a small screen is actually pretty good. It means that all the text and all the icons are not pixelated at all, very clear, very crisp, very easy to read. Now it doesn't have any color, so it's not a color screen. It doesn't really need color though, it just displays data basically, so like the time, steps, calories, that kind of thing. So it works perfectly well in monochrome and looks pretty good actually. Now probably what I like most about this version of the Mi Band, the Mi Band 3, is that it displays a lot more information just on the screen compared to other smartwatches, compared to other small fitness bands that are in this form factor. Like in previous versions, all you could basically do is press one button and it would cycle through the time, your heart rate and your steps, and that was it. That's all you could do, that's all you could see. Now on the Mi Band 3, because it has a full touch screen, you can basically see much more information. Not only can you see, for example, on the steps menu, if you swipe left, you can see how many calories you've burnt, how the distance you've traveled. If you look on the heart rate screen, you can see your heart rate from today, from yesterday. If you look on the weather screen, you can see the weather for the next few days. So it's got much more information directly on the screen. You can also change options like the face of the watch face. You can track your device, you can track your smartphone. So yeah, a lot more user-friendly, a lot more options available, and a lot more information available right on the watch itself, which is pretty good for such a small screen. So like I say, I've been wearing this watch now for like pretty much continuously for 2 or 3 weeks. Now actually, you may be able to see, I'm not sure you can see on the camera, but it's been very hot here in London for the past few weeks. I know, crazy, but you can pretty much see where I've been wearing it because I've got a tan line. So I have literally been wearing it a lot, and I can say that it's pretty much the most comfortable. I've just put it on upside down. It's pretty much the most comfortable fitness band I've ever worn. I barely notice it. It's so light. You know, you can wear it all day. You can wear it underneath clothes, and you won't notice it. It doesn't like bulge out or anything. And I have very skinny wrists, like I say in all these videos that I do for smartwatches. I pretty much have it tightened up to almost like the second button down, and yeah, it looks fine, it wears fine, it's not too tight, doesn't move, doesn't interfere like with your wrist, and most importantly, you can wear it when you sleep and it's still comfortable, because a lot of larger fitness bands or smartwatches, you know, they're designed to track your sleep, but it's difficult to wear them when you sleep because they're too big, and you know, they get in the way and then your wrist hurts in the morning. But I've not noticed any issues with this at all. I sometimes just completely forget that I'm wearing it. So I think this is very important, because the idea of wearing these fitness trackers is that you track your fitness metrics over weeks, ideally, and if you're taking it off every day or every few hours because it's uncomfortable, it's not going to be able to gather enough data. So you need a fitness band, or you need a smartwatch that's comfortable enough for you to wear constantly, so that the sensors can build up more of a picture of how well you're doing. Okay, so I've mentioned tracking, so let's go into a bit more detail about that. I won't go into huge amounts of detail because it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's got a heart rate sensor and an accelerometer. So like I say, it can track your heart rate, your steps, your sleep quality, your distance, your calories, and yeah, that all added up can build a pretty good picture of basic fitness. It can also detect when you have done more strenuous work. So if you're at the gym or if you go running, it can detect that kind of activity and it will tell you how long you did it for. But all I can say about the tracking is that it's somewhat more accurate than other fitness bands, especially the steps. I found the steps to be more accurate with this fitness band than other ones. Sometimes with other watches, if I just move around like that, it will pick up steps, but with the Mi Band it doesn't do that quite as much. I would say it's not completely 100% accurate, and these things rarely ever are. Now, it's got a heart rate sensor, like I say, and all of the heart rate sensors you need to take with a pinch of salt, because they're never going to be that accurate. The ones that use this kind of light feature just basically shines a light down on your wrist and detects your heart rate that way. It does pick up when the heart rate is higher. So for example, if I go running or if I'm at the gym, it does tell, you know, it shows you that your heart rate has gone up quite a lot. And like I said before, you can visualize some of this data right on the watch itself, so that's pretty useful if you just really want to quickly see how far you've traveled today. If you've been for a long walk or a run, then that's pretty useful. But if you want to get the most detailed information and you want to see your trends and how you've improved or how you've been doing over the past few weeks, then you need to use the app, which I will talk about now. So the Mi Band 3 uses the Mi Fit app. You need to download that and pair it via Bluetooth to activate the watch and for it to work anyway, so you need to do that. You can have the Bluetooth connected all the time and it constantly relaying data to your smartphone via the app, but you don't need to do that, and I would recommend you don't, because Bluetooth can sometimes interfere with Wi-Fi, it can make your Wi-Fi slower, and also it will drain the battery of both the smartwatch and your smartphone. So I recommend you just connect it once, disconnect it, and then just reconnect once every week or so, just for it to transfer the data. So it will continuously collect the data and store it in the watch, and then once you do connect via Bluetooth, it will just transfer all that over. Then you can have all that information readily available. So yeah, the app itself is very good, very user-friendly. I really like the Mi Fit app. If you wear the watch continuously for a long time, it will display a lot of data in graphs, and you'll see trends. You can detect your resting heart rate over days and weeks, whether it goes up or down. It will show you how far distance you traveled, how many steps you've done, and it will show you whether that's going up or down on average. Now, what I like about the Mi Fit app is because so many people use Xiaomi products and fitness bands and their fitness bands, like they collect data anonymously about everyone. So you can put your heart rate in and it will tell you how you compare to the world and how you compare to people in your local area. You can put your weight in if you dare. So for example, I put my weight, it's like 64 kilograms, and it told me that in my area I am lighter than 80% of people, which I can believe. So all in all, the app is very user friendly. It may not have the most data and the most kind of graphs and stuff available compared to other apps of similar design, but for what it is, for just basic fitness tracking, it's very, very user friendly. And I should say that if you happen to get the Chinese version of the Mi Band, if you buy it from China, which is what I did because it's slightly cheaper, what you can do now is download the latest version of the Mi Fit app and it will change the language to English. So when I first got the watch, all of the menus and stuff were in Chinese, which was kind of annoying. I mean, I could still work out what it meant, but yeah, it's obviously better for me for it to be in English. But the most recent version of the Mi Fit app if you download it and connect it to your watch, it will then just change it to English. So that means you can buy the cheaper Chinese version. It's still exactly the same watch, it just has the Chinese language, but then you can update the Mi Fit app and it will change it to English. So that's a cool option in case you were wondering. Okay, so I'm going to talk about quickly now notifications, because I think that's kind of the second most useful reason to have a smartwatch or a fitness band, is that you don't have to constantly look at your phone, check your phone, because it will show the notifications, or tell you at least when you have a notification on your watch. So yeah, this does work for smartphone notifications. If it's connected via Bluetooth, then it will display when someone's calling you, who is calling you, when someone texts you, who it is. Also works for WhatsApp. I'm not sure if it works for Instagram and stuff like that. I mean, it hasn't so far for me. I don't know if there's like an option. I haven't really checked out the options for that, but I don't really want Instagram notifications on here anyway, because it will just be continuously buzzing. But yeah, so if you get a call, it will vibrate and it will tell you who's calling. You can't reply to the call, you can't answer the call from your watch. It has no speaker, has no smart or microphone. So you can just see who's calling. You also can't reply to texts. Obviously, that might be a bit difficult because it's such a small screen. But you can see who's texted you and you can see the message. If it's quite a long message, because it's such a small screen, it can only display a limited amount of words. So you do have to swipe through to see the messages. And yeah, if it's a very long message, it may just be worth, you know, picking up the phone and looking. It'd probably be easier. It's not the best for notifications, obviously, just because of the limitations of the watch, of the size and of the screen. But if you just want something that tells you when someone's texted you and you don't want to have to look at your phone all the time, then this is more than enough, and it definitely works. So I guess there's one final thing that makes this watch, or the Mi Band 3, stand out, and that's the fact that it's waterproof to 50 meters. Now, I do believe this is one of very few fitness bands of this form factor that is completely waterproof. It means you can take it swimming, you can put it in water, you can, oh, I even have a glass of water here. Now, last time I just, oh, screw it, let's do it. Yeah, so see, it's completely waterproof. It won't break. I took it in the shower. I have washed it under the tap. Now, that is an important one, because if you're wearing it all day and it's sunny out, sometimes it can get a bit clammy. So it's good, the fact that you can just wash it underwater quickly and then put it back on, because you don't want it to smell. So I guess the final thing we should talk about is the battery life, because I really hate it when anything I'm wearing, anything electronic, runs out of battery, because then you've just got a useless device, non-working device attached to your body. That's why I don't have an Apple Watch, because I refuse to charge a watch every night. I just think it's ridiculous. So I really like my smartwatches to last for a long time, as long as possible. The longer the better. So far the best kind of smartwatch fitness band that is for battery life in any case is the Amazfit Bip, which lasts for about 6 weeks, and that's amazing. I mean, it's got a full touchscreen, full color screen. It's amazing. It's just unbelievably long battery life. Now, the Mi Band 3 doesn't have 6 weeks worth of battery life. According to Xiaomi, it has 20 days. It will last 20 days on one charge. And to be honest, personally for me, I think that that's pushing it a bit. I would say it lasts for 15 days. I've had this for about 3 weeks now, and I've had to charge it twice. I didn't let it run to like 0. I let it run to about 15%, because then it gave me a warning, and then I charged it again. But I'm pretty sure if I let it run continuously, it would last for about 15 days, maybe 20 at a push. To be honest, that's perfectly fine. As long as I don't have to charge it every other day, then I'm good. So battery life is pretty good, but maybe not exactly what they specify. So guys, I guess that's it. I mean, there's not really much more information I can give you on such a small device. I mean, it is just a fitness band. It will track your heart rate, your steps, your calories, and do all of that stuff, and it will look pretty good on your wrist. So I like it. I think it's a big improvement on the previous version. I'm going to do a comparison between these two, so I can, you know, specifically tell you exactly why it's better and show you side by side the differences. So I'll do another video on that soon. It's probably the best fitness band of this kind of form factor. There are half a dozen out now, but none of them have quite the same capabilities for such a low price. I mean, you know, waterproof, looks good, very responsive touch screen, shows a lot of data, can track a lot of stuff. So I think all in all, this is probably the best value. I only have a few issues with this. One of them being that I don't like the font. It's really minor. I don't like the font of the menu. It looks like something from it looks like Times New Roman. It looks like something from early 2000s. I think could just have a more modern font. I would also prefer if the actual body was curved, like something like this. So you see this is slightly curved. So yeah, if you are looking for a very cheap fitness band, you're looking for the best value, but you want it to look good and you want it to be very easy to use, this is the latest version and it is probably the best out now. So you can get this from gearbest.com, which is the cheapest place I found it. It's from China, so it will take like a week or so to get to you. It's also available on Amazon for slightly more, but obviously then it will be with you quicker. You know, it will just take a few days or a day even. So I'll post both links below and you can take a look, see the price difference, see which one is best for you. You can also take a look on my website, check out the link below, and it will give you the full specifications and some more details on this watch if you prefer to read rather than view and listen. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. This is the Mi Band 3. I have really enjoyed using it. I'm probably going to keep it on my wrist for the foreseeable future because I have no reason to change. So if you like gadgets, then please feel free to subscribe. Consider subscribing because I've got more coming. I've got some cameras like GoPro alternatives. They shoot in 4K. I've been out to test them, see which ones are best, see which ones are worth buying. They're much cheaper than GoPro, so it could be worth it if you are considering a little camera. Also probably going to end up with more smartwatches and fitness bands because I'm becoming the smartwatch guru for some reason. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. It's been fun. This is a Mi Band 3, really like it. I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you.